Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Athens County is trying to receive compensation for road damage caused by trucks. Good evening, I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Thanks for joining us. The trucks caused the damage by dumping drilling waste into an Athens injection well on Ladridge Road. At last week's County Commission meeting, County Engineer Jeff Maiden asked for a closed-door meeting to discuss possible litigation. Maiden claims the county spent $471,000 between January of 2013 through November of 2015 for repairs to Ladridge, Fisher, and Meadowbrooks Road. Physicians still don't know what role they'll be allowed to play when medical marijuana becomes legal in September 2017. Ohio's medical board met yesterday and are studying other states' laws before deciding Ohio's regulations. Ohioans for medical marijuana are hoping the board will act soon. They say the people needing medical marijuana are very ill and should only be treated once the state's rules are established. For the 10th year in a row, Ohio University has broken their enrollment record. As of Monday, 36,410 students enrolled in all OU campuses. According to Senior Vice Provost Craig Cornell, the university is anticipating it will have 250 more students than last year to enroll in the Athens campus. Record numbers are also expected for OU's graduate student and medical student population. The Ohio Department of Education is releasing information on how school districts performed last school year. Report cards data included rankings for overall student achievement, annual progress, and an area called gap closing. Graduation rates will also be incorporated, along with literacy progress and a measure of how well students are prepared to succeed beyond high school. This is the first year the state will give letter grades in all 6 categories. A Detroit, Michigan man has been found guilty of 2 second-degree felonies after a 2-day trial in Athens County Common Pleas Court. Jelani Walker was convicted of both aggravated possession of drugs and aggravated trafficking on drugs, but he was found innocent of possession of cocaine. Walker was placed under a $100,000 bond and faces up to 16 years in prison. Tomorrow marks the 18th annual Paw Paw Festival, and attendees will have more to look forward to than these years past. This year's new feature includes a 4-mile run, a renewable energy regatta boat race, and an attempt to build the world's largest cardboard fort. The festival's focus is on educating attendees about pawpaws through art, food, and entertainment. AEP has signed an agreement for $2.17 billion to sell its natural gas plants in Waterford and Mount Sterling, and a coal plant in Cheshire. The buyers are 2 private equity firms, Blackstone in New York and ArcLight in Boston. AEP spokeswoman Melissa McHenry says deregulation in Ohio makes it too financially risky for the company. She says most of the 370 employees at the Ohio plants that will be sold are expected to keep their jobs with the new owners. And union members representing Ohio's corrections officer will continue protesting the closing of Ohio's prison farms. The Ohio Civil Service Employees Association lost its court battle on Wednesday. The union was trying to postpone the farm assets being sold until after they resolved a grievance with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ananda Harris. We've seen some warm temperatures across the region this week, but due to a cold front that passed through Wednesday, we've seen a slight break in the heat for today. We're ending the day with temperatures in the upper 70s across much of the region. A little bit warmer down south, sitting around 80 degrees in the southern part of our forecast region. But as we go overnight, we'll cool down quite a bit. We're going to start off the night pretty clear. We'll see a few clouds move into the region around midnight, but no rain is expected overnight. And as we go through the night, we're going to drop down to 58 degrees for the low in Columbus, 59 the low in Athens, and a little bit warmer as we go down south at 63 degrees in Ironton. Partly cloudy skies overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to heat back up quite a bit, but we'll have more on that for you later. Over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Ananda. And voters will no longer be able to check only one box to vote party line down the ballot. West Virginia Secretary of State Natalie Tennant is reminding voters that straight ticket voting was eliminated in the 2015 session. Voters now have to select every candidate individually. In the 2014 general election, voters cast more than 126,000 straight ticket ballots. That's 27% of total voters who checked the one box in the last election. Columbus police shot and killed a 13-year-old boy last night after he pulled a gun on police. The gun was later determined to be a BB gun. Police say they were responding to an armed robbery call and stopped 3 boys who matched the description. 2 of the boys ran away and officers followed them to an alley where suspect Tyree King pulled a gun from his waistband and was shot by an officer. King was taken to a hospital where he later died. Now an update to an Ashland abduction case. An abducted Ohio woman's 911 call led to the discovery of 3 bodies in 2 counties. The woman was able to partially free herself to call for help after being tied up in her abductor's home. Ashland police discovered 2 bodies in the home upon arrival. The man arrested in the case then led police to a home in Richland County where a 3rd body was found. The case remains an open and active investigation. And Election Day is 54 days away. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are heading to Ohio this weekend. Senator Warren will make a stop on the campus of The Ohio State University Saturday and will make an appearance with Senate candidate Ted Strickland on Sunday. Clinton's Democratic primaries opponent Bernie Sanders will campaign in Canton, Kent, and Akron on Saturday. He'll talk about Clinton's community college plan as well as her plans on immigration and raising the minimum wage. The 2016 presidential candidates are just about tied in the national polls. After the break, we'll tell you how they're differentiating themselves on the campaign trail. That story and more when Newswatch returns.
Students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
With a new poll showing a dead heat between them, the presidential candidates set out Thursday with clear messages in mind. Hillary Clinton's message, "I'm back." Donald Trump's message, "Trust me on the economy." Karen Kafo reports from Washington.
Back at it.
Welcome back to Stronger Together.
After a timeout to recover from pneumonia at her home in Chappaqua, New York, Hillary Clinton took off for the trail again, first for a rally in North Carolina. Her campaign said she's ready to go.
She was obviously under the weather when she tried to plow through the last weekend. She didn't want to miss the 9/11 event, but I think she's strong and feisty and ready to go.
A near-fainting episode Sunday prompted questions about Clinton's health. Her campaign released more information from her doctor Wednesday showing her in good health. Donald Trump's campaign on Thursday followed up on an appearance with TV's Dr. Oz by releasing a letter from Trump's doctor, who recently examined him, saying he was in excellent health. Trump delivered an economic speech in New York, reiterating some previously discussed plans, including his ideas for tax reform and economic growth.
Over the next 10 years, our economic team estimates that under our plan, the economy will average 3.5% growth and create a total of 25 million new jobs.
Trump said the country could even reach 4% growth, but some analysts are skeptical. The U.S. economy hasn't seen that level since the technology boom during Bill Clinton's administration in the 90s. Both candidates seeking an issue that will help them break away in the polls. A new CBS News New York Times poll finds Clinton with a 2-point edge among likely voters nationwide, head-to-head with Trump. They are tied when third-party candidates are included. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Thanks, Karen. Now an update on a story we brought to you earlier this week. Police now have a suspect in custody in the Florida mosque arson case. That incident is bringing attention to a string of other anti-Muslim attacks across the country. A Muslim advocacy group says 2016 is the record to be the second worst year when it comes to attacks on mosques, right after 2015. Here's Andrew Spencer.
Police believe the man seen here, setting a Florida mosque on fire Sunday, is 32-year-old Joseph Michael Schreiber. He was arrested Wednesday and faces first-degree felony charges.
An examination of Schreiber's social media account also shows multiple anti-Islamic posts and comments. Schreiber will be charged with arson, and Florida's hate crime enhancement will also be applied to the charge.
As an ex-felon, Schreiber could face up to life in prison if convicted. He allegedly set fire to the Islamic Center of Fort Pierce after midnight Sunday night. No one was in the building at the time. The mosque had been attended by Omar Mateen, the man who killed 49 people at Orlando's Pulse nightclub. The arson was just one of several anti-Muslim attacks in recent days. In New Hampshire, another mosque was vandalized, rocks thrown through the front window, while worshipers gathered inside.
It's a devastating experience. My daughter, even when she heard it, she slept with us instead of in her room.
A spokesman for the Council on Islamic Relations says they've seen an unprecedented spike in attacks in recent months, blaming Islamophobic rhetoric used by some politicians. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
And surveillance video captured a tractor-trailer ramming into a Maryland mosque earlier this month. Muslim civil rights advocates are asking for a federal investigation as to whether or not this was a hate crime. Now back to the States. The city of Orlando is planning to build a new memorial to honor the victims of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Reporter Alex Villarreal has details from outside the Pulse nightclub.
Come Monday, this chain-link security fence around Pulse nightclub is going away. In its place, the city is installing a new commemorative fence featuring art by local artists. And the hundreds of items that now line the current fence, they will be preserved.
So these are now safe and they won't further deteriorate.
These are just a few of the over 3,500 tributes the Orange County Regional History Center has already collected, many of them weather-worn.
We have to check for mold. Almost everything was outside.
They're pieces of the memorials that emerged outside the Dr. Phillips Center and ORMC in the weeks following the massacre.
Because we're collecting the community response. And I think to me that is a bit of a silver lining around an otherwise terribly dark cloud.
Friday, the History Center will start gathering the items around Pulse. WESH 2 News obtained a rendering of what the new fence will look like. Orlando United and Love More, Hate Less among its messages. The city says it will be about 8 feet high and 10 to 12 feet closer to the club, which draws visitors every day.
Pulse is somewhere I used to come often, and it really helped me become myself and really be true to myself.
The History Center says it could take over 2 years to preserve all of the Pulse memorial items. Anything left at the new fence will also be collected.
All right, thanks, Alex. On Wall Street today, stocks ended on a high note. And a new study shows an effective way to quit smoking. That story is still ahead.
After a sunny week, we're going to see some storms roll into the region for the weekend. Following those storms, a drop in temperatures. All that plus your extended forecast coming up on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ananda Harris. It's a beautiful evening here in Athens. We're finishing off the day at 80 degrees. Nice dry conditions. Looking at that humidity, we're only at 48%, so feeling very nice out there. Across the region, temperatures all very pleasant. 75 in Chillicothe and up in Columbus. A little bit warmer down south at Ironton at 80 degrees. And looking at our almanac for today, we were right around our seasonal averages. 81 degrees, the high in Athens, the normal about 78 degrees. We were a little bit on our warm side for the low this morning, but still in this time of year that can easily happen. Looking at our precipcast, we see that high pressure off to our east, which has been giving us the nice sunny skies over the last couple of days. Tomorrow we will heat up, keeping those nice sunny conditions, and on Friday night we're going to start getting that rain ahead of this cold front and low pressure system moving into the region, so we could have a few scattered showers. Saturday, unfortunately, is our big day for rain. We see that precipitation all across the tri-state area. That'll probably stay through your Sunday also, so unfortunately not a very good weekend to be going outside. And overnight, we're going to drop down to 58 degrees in Athens. We're going to start off the night pretty clear, but we'll have a few clouds increasing as we go closer to morning. 60 degrees the low for tonight in New Lexington, 60 in Ripley as well, and 63 the low in Ironton. For tomorrow morning, still a bit chilly for your morning commute, 61 degrees. We won't see any precipitation, but we may have a little bit of patchy fog. That will burn off though as we go through the day. And we're going to heat up quite a lot, 81 degrees by noon. So if you're in a jacket for the morning, make sure that you wear some layers because we're going to get up to 87 degrees by 4 p.m., hitting a high of 88 in Athens. Across the region tomorrow, temperatures very warm once again because of that high pressure. 85 the high in Columbus, 88 over in Marietta, and down in Ironton, we're hitting 91 degrees. Very warm for mid-September. Looking at our 7-day though, we'll see that rain moving into the region on Saturday and Sunday. After that rain though, we're going to cool down quite a bit for the beginning of the week. We're going to see that low pressure for our weekend giving us those cloudy skies and rain, but as soon as that moves out, we're going to follow with some high pressure. So sunny skies for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all through your 7-day. Lows going to be dropping into the upper 50s and low 60s through the week. So right around seasonal for this time of year. Over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Ananda. According to the World Health Organization, tobacco kills about 6 million people every year. Quitting can help lower the risks of dying early from a variety of tobacco-related illnesses. It's possible the use of e-cigarettes might help people give up smoking altogether. Kim Hutcherson has that in today's Health Minute.
New research out of the United Kingdom indicates that the use of e-cigarettes may have helped thousands quit smoking. The study was published Wednesday in the British Medicinal Journal. Researchers at University College London analyzed information from the Smoking Toolkit study, which looked at smoking and attempts to quit in England. They found that e-cigarettes may have helped some 18,000 people in the country quit smoking in 2015. The investigators pointed out that there's no evidence the use of e-cigarettes prompted people to try to quit. But during 2015, the number of people who successfully quit smoking rose as more people used e-cigarettes. According to the World Health Organization, tobacco kills up to half of its users. The American Lung Association says 480,000 people in the U.S. die from tobacco-related causes each year, making it the #1 cause of preventable death in the country. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, thanks, Kim. Now over to Duncan. What's going on in sports this evening?
Thanks, Mackenzie. It looks like we got a big Friday ahead of us for a couple local football teams. And I'll be filling you in on what happened with the Indians today and yesterday. And let's not forget about Ohio University's women's volleyball team. We will look at what is coming up for them next on Newswatch. And as always, stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Duncan Goldberg. Tomorrow will be a big day for the Lady Bobcat volleyball team as they will be heading to Blacksburg, Virginia to participate in the Hokie Invitational. The Lady Bobcats will wake up bright and early and square off against the Radford Highlanders at 11 a.m. The Highlanders are 8-2 on the season. The Lady Cats will have to pick themselves up right after that because they will take on the tournament hosts, the Virginia Tech Hokies, at 8 p.m. The Hokies are 4-5 on the season thus far, and the Bobcats are off to a slow start this season as they have only 3 wins and 7 losses. The volleyball team won't be the only Bobcat squad to travel to Blacksburg, Virginia tomorrow. The Ohio University cross-country team will also be traveling there for their second meet of the season. In their first meet of the season, the men were able to dominate as they finished in first place and had five runners placed in the top 10. The women also did well as they finished in third place. Leaving the pavement and onto the pitch, the Ohio women's soccer team looks to get back on track after a tough 1-0 loss to Robert Morris this past weekend. Ohio takes on the Xavier Musketeers tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Chesa Field. This is the last Bobcat non-conference game this season and would be a great momentum boost heading into conference play. This may be only week 4 of high school football season, but tomorrow could be the biggest game of the year in the TVC Hawking. The defending 2-time Hawking champs, the Trimble Tomcats, will be hosting the Waterford Wildcats for outright first place in the Hawking tomorrow night. The Bobcats and the Wildcats are both 2-0 in conference play. And switching from the TVC Hawking to the TVC Ohio, the Athens Bulldogs will be heading to Alexander to take on the rival Spartans. This is the first conference matchup for both teams. Getting away from Athens area and heading west to Cincinnati, the Reds' tough season continues. Last night, the team lost to Milwaukee Brewers 7-0, despite only giving up 6 hits all game. The Reds still found a way to surrender 7 runs, mainly due to walking 6 batters. 5 of those 6 batters scored. This loss snaps a season-high 5-game win streak for the Reds. The Cincinnati looks to bounce back on the Pirates on Friday night at 7 p.m. Now from the Reds to the Tribe. The Tribe was able to pick up a 6-1 win yesterday over the Chicago White Sox. After the Indians gave up a run in the bottom of the third, they were able to come back with 3 runs in the fourth. Josh Tomlin and the bullpen would shut the Sox down after that as they would win 6-1. Today's game didn't go as well for the Indians as they fell to the Sox 2-1 on a walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth. The White Sox struck out a whopping 12 Indians in the game. I'm Duncan Goldberg, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Duncan. Uber's self-driving cars have hit Pittsburgh. The Ford Fusions are currently available for a select group of customers in the city who can accept the invitation via email. The cars are featured 20 cameras, 7 lasers, and 3 inertial measurement units to help customers get where they are going. There's also a safety driver who can take the wheel in case of emergency. Pittsburgh is the first city where Uber is offering self-driving cars. Now let's send it back over to Ananda for a final look at weather.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Overnight tonight, it's going to be a beautiful night in Athens. Partly cloudy skies, dropping down to 58 degrees for our low. Tomorrow we're going to heat up quite a bit, hitting 88 degrees, very warm for mid-September. We're going to have mostly sunny skies before the weekend when we're going to have quite a chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday. We're getting a low pressure system moving into the area this weekend, which is going to give us those showers as well as a possible chance for some few rumbles of thunder. After that low pressure system passes through, though, we're going to get a nice cold front, dropping those temperatures down for the beginning of the week, seeing those highs in the low 80s. Our lows are going to be dropping into the upper 50s throughout the beginning of the week, so feeling much more like September than August that's felt the last week. Through the beginning of the week, we're going to get that high pressure building, giving us those nice sunny skies, so no real chance for rain for your beginning of the work week. And that high pressure is going to continue to have us heat up those temperatures, getting us up into the mid 80s by midweek. That's all for your forecast. Over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Ananda. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.